Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Ryder speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. Well, it was almost raining a second ago. My thighs have been very stiff, or at least they were yesterday, and this downhill is definitely not going to end up helping with that. But it's better for talking, especially at the altitude that I am right now, because the place where I am right now is, in fact, Machu Picchu Pueblo, or I guess they also call it Aguascalientes, but I thought Machu Picchu would make a lot more sense, especially for the title of this video. So yes, it has been quite the intense week, because the last time we checked in was right after I had landed in Peru. So yeah, 7 days down the line, with I believe 4 to go basically, because we've already done our activities for today. Yeah, it's I don't even know, I hardly know where to begin, aside from chronologically I guess, but you know what I mean. It is, so I'm just trying to find a way with the least amount of people that I ended up bumping into, basically. Which, yeah, it's basically impossible here, because this is the town that you have to go through, basically, to get to the ruins of Machu Picchu, so that's why everyone is here. But yeah, there's no way that I can go through every detail of what's happened thus far, but I will try my best to do a brief summary. So, first day, basically, was Dune Buggy Day, basically, because yeah, we were in Lima to begin with, and that's basically peak desert territory, and that was our first activity. I thought we were going to do the driving of the dune buggies. That was my understanding, but actually we were just in 2 separate rides with 2 very confident drivers and some very high dunes. And after that we went sandboarding, which we were in control. I say we're in control of, as in control as you can be, you know, lying down on, you know, on a basically a surfboard, going down, plummeting to basically your doom. What do you think about it in a certain point of view? I'm just trying to, I have to figure out, there's something I need to make sure I don't miss, basically. I'm pretty sure it's this way. Oh, okay, hold on, there's something coming through. Yeah. Didn't want to be hit with that, did I? Okay, so yeah, that was day 1. Day 2, if I'm going in the correct order, we're basically off to Huacachina immediately, and we were told to take as many things we needed for the next 3 days, which is fine in principle, except for the fact that I did not have I did not have a bag the size for precisely 3 days, so I had to stuff a bunch of things and an extra book for one of the crew into the thing itself. So yeah, that was but yeah, like that place as well. Actually, that was also dunes territory, but that was where we didn't actually go up the big dune to see the sunset, as was the intended idea. We actually, well, at least some people in the group had the option to go to this place we learned how pisco is made, and then afterwards climb up the dune to see the sunset. A small group of us, including me, chose instead to go to see the Nazca lines. If you don't know what those are, those were drawings made by the Nazca people, like, what was it, 2,000 something years ago, basically. And essentially, and essentially they made it so. Sorry, I'm really trying to find the thing in question. And basically, they all they had to do is just move like a layer away from the ground because of the rocks around it, and yeah, they've obviously endured for some time. They're all a complete mystery as to what they actually mean, obviously, and all that stuff. So we first went to a tower, just a bit of a breather from, you know, the long bus ride to get there, and then after that we we went on a plane and saw all of them. And we got on these well, our group split up because of weight distribution, but it was, yeah, a very small plane, and they made sure that you could take photos on either side, so it would lean over to point with the wing, so we're constantly tipping one way and the other and like that. We said that was definitely fun, but maybe it was not necessarily worth the 4 hours of travel in order to actually get there. And Google Maps says I've arrived at what I was looking for, but I don't see it, and I saw it earlier. I am confused now. Ah, that's not helpful. Come on, where is it? If I don't find the thing in question, I'll just make it the thumbnail of this episode, so everyone can see it. It's basically something that my aunt mentioned before I went here. Aside from the random the random suggestion that I get a Peruvian hat, which I've also done. But yeah, I don't know. Supposedly we found it like on our way to the hostel we're in right now, but I just don't see it anywhere. And I don't get why. In either case, what did we do after that? I think after that was our boat ride, basically, where we all went and we actually took we actually got a guided tour with so I'm trying not to go down the market stand. Even though that's where, oh no, that's not where the bridge is. Okay. And the bridge leads to other marketplaces. Okay. We're going to the market apparently. So yeah, we basically, but it was quite funny because at first, before the tour actually started, some random woman came up to our boat and started talking to us about basically like the minimum, like the they call it la talla minima basically, or whatever it was, like the fishing capacity thing or something, because they're trying to protect the species there, and basically about how it's they could put you in prison for about 5 years or so if you go over that amount or something like that. I don't know. All in Spanish, mind you. Didn't translate, and but the tour itself, the guy actually did say everything in English and Spanish. And we even got to actually have a bit of a surprise because there were whales there on top of the sea lions, penguins, crabs, and one other thing I'm missing out on right now that we were supposed to see. And we did see. The sea lions were very photogenic actually. And I found out that's probably because they have no natural predators, so they have no, I guess, alertness, let's say. Aside from, I guess, the only things that ever hunted them, of course, are humans, because we've basically hunted everything. So, yeah. But obviously, they're not used to that happening because all the humans that they interact with just, take pictures of them. So there's that. There was one night in Machu that was a really fun party, basically, which I haven't really done since before COVID, actually, and especially not with the group that I first started properly dancing with, let's say. So that was a nice one. No, yes. I don't know. So that happens sometimes where people will try to get you to go inside the restaurant. I've already eaten, so that's not really helpful. Yeah, okay, down here. Yeah, this is definitely not the best place to film. I'm constantly going either uphill, downhill. You know, I could go extremely downhill and go to the butterfly sanctuary. That's a bit flatter, but I would rather not have to walk back up again, because we already did that once today, in fact. So let's go through whatever else we've got. I thought dogs in Galicia were bad, but the ones over here just come up and sniff you. And most of them are strays as well. Yeah, so I don't know, definitely going to try and stay away from markets and restaurants, I guess, to avoid other confusion or, offended staff that think I'm filming in their direction despite the camera pointing at myself. But anyway, another thing to be careful with over here is buses, because they'll zoom around and they'll just, randomly do a 180 or something. Their bus line is very short, but I guess because, most of it's uphill and downhill, so that's the point. Don't really know. But yeah, we've essentially, what was I going to say? I mean, I guess I'll talk about today a little, well, not today, yesterday. The reason my legs were stiff, I actually don't really know, because I just woke up with them and my thighs were, it felt like I hadn't stretched in years. And the situation didn't improve all day, despite the fact that we had a downhill hike of about, of about 4 hours. I think I got them in, more or less. See, that's the same thing that happens everywhere in the world, Adults will look at you weirdly like it's happening right now, and kids will wave at the camera. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So the downward hike. That was definitely not fun because of that. At least I had like the 2 sticks that you could actually get for 15 soles. And that made things much, much better. Definitely. But yeah, we've been through quite a lot. Even though it's all a descent, I felt it in my thighs, and today they're much better. Actually, the tour guide here, he actually said, if anyone wants to actually have a massage at the spa, make sure to tell me so I can book in advance. They never gave us the details, so no one did. But fortunately, I think I'm actually, once I'm done here, we're going to actually relax in the hostel for a bit, and I'm going to introduce Adri to what I'm hoping will be his new favourite movie, or at least for some time. That being K-pop Demon Hunters. So, yeah. So I'll be able to, get off my feet after that. Oh, and I say that I find the flattest area in this town right in front of me. Fantastic. But yeah, I think I basically summarized pretty much everything that we did. All this sort of stuff is like immediately apparent. I haven't talked about the food really. I'm very impressed, by the way, about how many vegetarian options there are just in Peru in general. Like everywhere we went, there have been like at least 4 options minimum, usually 5 or 6. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're used to 2 maybe from Spain, that's saying something. I guess that's the reason Spain is so like meat focused is because during La Reconquista that they had, the reconquering, you know, it was you know, a sign. Oh, you know, we're not the Moors basically, because you know we've here we are eating meat. Oh, like different types of meat basically, like mostly pork. I didn't want to talk over that. All that, I should say. So yeah, there's a huge meat culture ever since. I guess over here, where you know Spain were the invaders, they've also you know have a culture of celebrating every July 28th, which meant that we were supposed to see huge Independence Day celebrations a couple of days ago. I say supposed to because, as it turns out, at least when you're not in Lima, apparently there are just areas where people have decided to stop celebrating in order to as a form of protest against the president. As it turns out, people mostly do not like their president at the moment. Which, you know, I say this, they've apparently got an election year next year. So if you do come here in July time, you should be fine. Next year, I mean. But yeah, for this year, it seems like the president is very openly communist, and people aren't happy about that. You know, there's some signs around the places where, you know, they will say, you know, el comunismo mata el turismo, or communism kills tourism. So, I mean, clearly it hasn't destroyed it entirely because here I am, but I guess from their perspective they know the difference. So, I don't know. That's an interesting, I guess, perspective. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how this president came into power necessarily, or whether or not her open communism was as open during her campaigning time, and that's why they voted for her. I'm not sure. Clearly the people want to change, and they are willing to forego their independence celebrations in order to achieve that. And that's as far as I understand. So yeah, not much in the way of celebrations there. And we've obviously don't need to redone that one party in our group, because we basically what was I gonna say? Because yeah, we've been getting up very early to do all of the activities because the morning is the best time for them. So most of the time we want to get to bed very early as a result. But yeah, that's that, I guess. The group is lovely, by the way. Yeah, everyone has been fantastic so far. They've just, sorry, I'm just crossing the train lines. Okay. And yeah, they're from all over the place. You know, we knew there were going to be some from the States, and there are. But there have been quite a few British people as well. We have one from Switzerland, one from Germany, We had one from Australia and from Portugal. They've both left now. Yeah, there have been quite a few people. Look at that, you have to cross the train lines in order to get to the entrance. That's where else but here, I guess. Because I generally don't know where else but here. Has anyone ever seen that? I mean, that's one thing we didn't really account for, because my mum was convinced. She said, "Oh, is this going to be a very Spanish intense week for you? You know, compared to being forced to speak English in class in Galicia. You know, just being in Peru where there are no rules. That could be intensely of like, well," and I thought so as well. Up until the point where I remembered, oh yeah, the company we're reserved with is Canadian, and they offer places around the world, and most of their oh, that's right, there was one Canadian person in our group. So yeah, again, mostly the States. So yeah, most of the time we've been speaking English. The only people who speak in other languages around each other are very occasionally the Swiss and German girls, yeah, like they speak German sometimes, but not really most of the time. Because obviously German and Swiss German are very different, so yeah. So the only people who really speak other languages to each other on a regular basis are, you know, my lot. And you know, it's still weird to hear the two of them that aren't Adri speak in English, because it's not like I've never heard them before, because obviously we went to a bilingual school together. But you know, every time the bell rang, all English was dropped, and that's basically how we all interacted. Like, I know that one of them now has a job at, you know, at an I think it was a British owned or American owned insurance company. I get that. But yeah, my goodness, that was like just hearing them again. It's very strange. There's one of them I think I haven't spoken to in English much at all, because he's not super talkative, so most of the time he mostly speaks to us anyway. I say most of the time, it depends. Sometimes he didn't go to the Nazca lines with us, so I'm pretty sure he had some interactions at that point. I've been trying to make sure our group isn't, you know, super isolated from the big group, you know, because that's one of the things that we came here to do, you know, to be part of the big group. Even when we actually have dinner and such all together, we usually, well, I usually try to sit somewhere that isn't the extreme corner, so I can actually talk to several people at once. But yeah, obviously depending on who is ahead on the hiking trails, who comes with you to the Nazca lines, who sits near you on the bus and whatever, depends as to what interactions you have with everyone. The only one that I felt bad for is is our American roommate in some of the other hostels, where he got paired with the four of us, constantly talking in Spanish to each other. But you know, he's one of the ones who's actually been to a few other parties, aside from the big Wakachina one, so he's definitely survived, that's what I'll say. So yeah, I didn't find what I was looking for. It was basically, there was a statue of Paddington Bear that's around here. I was going to be like, oh, found him. But yeah, I'm going to have to make that the thumbnail or something when I go back, because it's just didn't seem to be in my periphery while filming. I don't know. I had Google Maps open at the same time and everything. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think I should get back now. Again, this is a very brief summary of so many things that have happened, but if I went into detail about everything, I'd be here forever. I don't want to be, because we've got to show Adi something that he will also find wonderful on this trip. I don't want to miss that. So I'm going to go ahead and find Paddington and find my way back. So please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.